preparing. This is Dr. Bob Cooper. He is an ISBM Distinguished Research Fellow and Professor Emeritus of the DeGroote School of Business at Master University, Canada. Bob is a world expert in the field of new product management, and I can't imagine that you don't already know that, but let me tell you a few things about Bob. He was named the world's top innovation management scholar in the US publication Journal of Product Innovation Management, and the quintessential scholar in the field of new products, also in the JPIM. He is one of 6 Crawford Fellows in the Product Development and Management Association in the US. Bob is the father and creator of the Stage-Gate system, now widely used by leading firms around the world to drive new products to market. He has helped hundreds of leading corporations design and implement his Stage-Gate new product process. And he is also the developer of the NewProd system for screening and diagnosing new product projects. Bob has over 140 articles in leading journals on new product management. He has won numerous awards for his research and publications, and he's written 11 books on the new product management, including the bestseller, Winning a New Products, 5th edition, which also has become the Bible for new product development. He has also written Portfolio Management for New Products, an in-depth guide to picking the right R&D projects. We had, what are we going to do, the lottery? Are we doing it at the end?
At the end.
Okay, all right. So we're going to have Bob take over right now. There is a lottery that we're going to do for a book, and so hang around for that.
Signed book. So if you
Signed book, no less.
if you wanted to take a nice present to your boss, you take the book and you get me to sign it to the greatest boss in the world or something to that, and that endears you. Okay, just kidding. It's going to be to you. Okay, thanks, Lynn. Great to be here. By the way, I'm not an AI expert, but since Lynn asked me and Rand asked me to do this talk, I have delved into the field very heavily. And my attempt was to find companies like you, user companies, that are actually using it and how they're using it. So rather than looking at suppliers mostly that we've heard from today, it's our people like us folks, mechanical equipment companies, chemical companies, et cetera. Are we using it and how are we using it? And I found a number of applications, really surprised me, and a number of examples. The trouble is they tend to be from a handful of really big companies like GE, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Siemens, people like that. So they model the way, and I guess it's up to us to get on board this train. They're getting amazing results. A reporting 50% time reduction in development, things like that from GE. So remarkable results from these handful of early adopters, shall we say. Okay, and there's some really good new stuff coming out on these, and that's what I'm sort of basing this talk on. All of you know what AI is, so I'll blow through this. I'm going to blow through a few slides. By the way, I asked ChatGPT, who are you? And it came back with this, okay? A definition of himself or herself, which is sort of interesting. Simulation of human intelligence in machines to think, reason, and perform tasks. A whole bunch of things. Learning, problem solving, reasoning, perception. I think that means vision, decision making, etc. And the goal, of course, is to create systems that can perform independently, tasks independently of you and me. It's scary. That will improve performance, and they improve their performance over time. For example, is it conceivable that a robot will replace gate meetings? That the bosses will not be invited, that the decision will be made to continue with the project by a robot? Not now, but according to an AI expert I've been dealing with in China, 5 years. Okay, it's already happening in finance. Look at that. There are people, there's an AI robot on a venture capital company in Hong Kong that is now making the decisions as to whether to invest in a startup. Scary, right? And doing better than management did. Actually, management still checked, obviously, as was said, pointed out by the previous speaker. I attended an IBM-sponsored session on AI for business held in Toronto about 2 weeks ago. I attended virtually. A lot of folks, mostly from the financial community, attended in person. The financial community is way ahead of us in terms of applications. They have harder data, of course, much stronger, more structured data, and they're a little bit luckier in that respect. One of the speakers from Harvard, brilliant guy, he's got a book out on AI as a prediction machine. And he came up with an easier definition for all of us that are a bit confused. and I rather liked his definition. I read part of his book. It gets rave reviews. AI can be defined simply as prediction technology that reduces the cost of predictions. End of discussion. He was trying to keep it simple for me and you, right? Few words. Basically, he said, where we make predictions like sales or market forecasts today, AI will do it better, faster, and cheaper. Of course, we know that. But for problems that today do not involve prediction, AI will convert them into a prediction problem. For example, driving a car autonomously. It will predict how an excellent driver would drive this car and drive it accordingly. Painting a beautiful painting, it would predict how Picasso, looking at this scene, would paint the painting and do it accordingly. Interesting concept, isn't it? It would predict how an effective manager would make this investment decision in Hong Kong. AI will take the traditional problem, should we make the investment, and turn it into a prediction model. And he gives lots and lots of examples. The auto industry example, creating a drawing for a new concept car, GM. What does AI do? It says, basically, the prediction is how would a clever designer, given certain instructions, like make it youthful, make it aggressive, make it sporty, make it a convertible, make it about this long, and make it appeal to young men. Okay, it'll take those instructions, and what would a very creative designer do? That's what it's predicting, and it comes out with the drawing. It'll predict how that designer would design the car given certain key prompts. By the way, the phrase they kept using, the new job in business is going to be the prompt engineer. I'm sure some of you have heard that. Maybe you pass that on to your kids or grandkids, Jerry. Prediction is basically the heart of making decisions under uncertainty. And guess what product development is? It's got a lot of decisions made under uncertainty, right? The size of the market. Whether we should go ahead with the project, what the product should be, what the marketing launch plan, what the price should be. And so AI fits so beautifully into the challenges for any of you involved in product development facing very uncertain futures. Hence the transformative role of AI in product development. One of the things I tried to do after I started getting into the literature on this is figure out, it was a bit overwhelming when you first get into it. And I came up with dozens and dozens of applications in product development alone. Overwhelming. And so I wrote to a friend of mine in Germany. He's the editor of IEEE Transactions on Engineering Management, happens to be in Germany. It's an American publication. And he had a paper trying to position AI in product development. And the key dimensions he was using was facilitator versus originator. A facilitator basically does tasks that people already do, but does it better and faster. Handling data, producing dashboards, things like that. Doing clever calculations, very quickly, of course. An originator is more creative and inventive. It comes up with a new design for a car. At the same time, a lot of people talked about where it occurs in the new product process. The Albert Group, for example, yesterday, Albert Invent, Jonathan, you were talking about, and Bob was talking about at different stages of the process. Your system, I think you even mentioned at different stages of the stage gate process. So another way of thinking about AI is where it's going to happen. At every stage, at the front end, at the back end. Maybe it's mostly for the front end in our company. Maybe more for the back end. Designing the launch plan, setting pricing strategy, figuring out how to optimize design for manufacturability, things like that. Transfer to the plant, those kinds of things. And here's what I came up with. And this is only some of them. A whole load at the front end, a whole load in the middle, and not quite as many in the back end. But there's even some AI for post-launch. For example, Tesla. For every Tesla vehicle, there's a digital twin on a computer at Tesla headquarters, and they're tracking what you're doing, making sure you're a happy driver and that the car's working well, and whether you need a bit of a fix now and then. I have a friend with a Tesla. He was very surprised to get a note from them saying, you need to do such and such on your car. We noticed a little problem there. That's a digital twin does that. A replica of his car sitting on some dude's computer in wherever their headquarters are. So there's even stuff at the back end. So guys, big challenges here, isn't it? It's a bit exciting and also a bit overwhelming, right, Jerry? I'm sure you've seen some of this stuff. AI is an originator. Of course, AI designed this product. It can be very creative. AI also designed this for Nike. Designed it. Probably better than you and I could. So it can be a very inventive animal. Or machine, I guess. It's a method of inventing. It combines its generative and creative potential to explore its intelligent sensing capabilities, particularly appropriate for the earlier stages in the product process, where you're coming up with a product concept that you want to do a concept test with. Some drawing, sketches, whatever, things like that. Or this is where the project team is trying to identify problems, seek possible solutions, customer problems, seek possible solutions. And they sometimes gets lost in the search for a product market fit. This is this guy that's editor of that magazine, Alex Brand, Germany. Had a good article on this. AI as a facilitator is sort of a more normal. For example, Applied Marketing Science was doing, are they here still? Okay, you guys had a great, oh yeah, you guys, okay, Kristen and Jerry. You guys had a great presentation, doing a lot of tasks humans do now, but doing it so much better and so much faster, right? You weren't creating concept cars, but you were analyzing a lot of data. And you gave some really good examples on oral hygiene, remember that one? And the snowplow, I thought that was clever. I used that as an example last night to the guys that took me out to dinner. They weren't from here. And also the medical device you got into. Great examples of how you can take data that's out there on thousands of blogs. The company I was out with last night is actually a Chicago-based company. They make farm equipment. And their eyes just lit up. Because farmers have thousands of blogs talking about who's got the best tractor, etc. And they're sitting there saying, you can do this? I said, bingo, you might want to talk to them. The guy I was out with last night was actually in charge of innovation, so he's an interesting character. Lego, for example, another company I work with in Denmark, they use AI to scan the internet, just like you were talking, and they look for themes and memes that are particularly popular and topical, share that with the product designers who then come up with new lines or new toys. And they're using this diligently and aggressively. They, of course, are a very, very advanced company. They do everything, just about everything right. And I was sort of encouraged to see them doing this. They use AI in a lot of other locations too, but exactly what you guys were talking about yesterday. So AI as a facilitator builds on its capacity to integrate data in a new way. I'm just going to blow through here. I think we've already seen the examples, and I don't have to go through the definition. Some of the examples, how we identify and interact with lead users or spot what changes to introduce into the service or the product, like make that toothbrush and toothpaste more convenient for travel. You probably noticed that the other morning when you looked in your travel bag and there was nothing there. Okay, as I did. The facilitator function thrives with data, as you pointed out so clearly, Jerry, in your talk. The more data, the more valuable the application. Now let's start at the front end using that conceptual model. Start at the front end with ideation. IA helps to generate new product ideas by analyzing large amounts of data. It identifies, it looks at customer feedback, blogs, etc., complaints, market trends, competitive products, and can identify gaps and needs in the marketplace. Sorry to mention a competitor, but this is already on the screen, but it's nice to know other people are doing similar things. It sort of validates what you're doing. They're looking for generating new product ideas by analyzing open-ended responses. I put you guys there number one. Okay? But there are other people. So this is a very, very validated area of opportunity for everyone in the room. Exploration, looking at factors in the environment. For example, asking AI to perform a PESTEL analysis. PESTEL is what? Political, economic, and environmental, social, legal assessment of the particular sector you're looking for. It'll do that. It helps innovation teams explore the user perspective. List key challenges that people have. Like the challenge of, what are the major problems people that drive a snowplow truck have? It'll give you the list, and a damn good list. I've tried it. Not on snowplows, but on other ones. Differentiate between different user segments, does that very nicely. It can also provide methodological support. It'll generate a first draft of an interview guide for you. Wow. Amazing things. Including a typical agenda and points and specific questions. This is a PESTEL analysis that this was in an article somebody tried. Generating innovation, you might want to take a look at this article, just brand new. Some good articles on this. Unilever, British company. Oops. Ooh. I guess I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh, well. I'm surprised you don't have AI with a little thing around here that gives you a shock when you step outside.
I'll do that for you next time.
There you go. They're a British company. They've done some rather amazing things in the area of cosmetics, skincare. They also are in the area of detergents and cleaners. They're a bit like a Procter & Gamble Plus, more in the personal products as well. They use AI-powered algorithms to basically look at social media to identify emerging skincare trends, and they developed a new range of products that were aligned with their needs. Now, what this slide doesn't say, and I'm going to show you a little later on, they have a robot-based laboratory in the UK. It costs them £100 million, British money. It's filled with robots. The AI from this feeds the robots develop the product. So end to end of the process is all done with AI and robots. It's the biggest massing of robots in any chemistry lab in the world. They do the whole damn project. Isn't that amazing? That scares I'm a chemical engineer, that sort of scares me. I'm a chemical engineer, wow. But as somebody said yesterday, some people are going to lose their jobs, but you and I, who are on top of this, are going to face great personal opportunities. So now's the time to get on it. Nestle, we developed a clinical data mining approach. They've got a huge research facility in Lausanne, in Switzerland. It's almost like a university campus. And they have so much knowledge there. I've visited several times. And yet the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. Thousands of people doing studies on food and this, that, and the other thing. Some of it fairly fundamental. They put in AI to mine it all. All the studies they've done to figure out, what can we do with this? How can we make money here? And the Swiss gentleman said, this is the CTO, we valorize much more what we have already done in terms of clinical studies that we use to create new discoveries and new inventions. In other words, they had done the research, it sat in somebody's bottom drawer or on somebody's computer. Now they went back, looked at it, and they created enormous new value, much more than the initial studies did. Wow. Here's another, this is the upside one. I won't spend any time on that because you saw yesterday how good a job you guys did. Technology push ideas using AI. It's not all market driven. Some great new products come from technology push. At Unilever, for example, using AI, scientists have discovered how to use a patented combination of ingredients to feed the skin. Remember the old days back in 1950, you put cucumbers on your face? They discovered that some of those things weren't all that crazy. There are ways to literally feed the skin with biology type They're called natural ceramides. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's a nice category. Do you know what it is? Oh, good. Oh, of course, you're in the business. This kind of research is only possible for analyzing huge amounts of data and studying how the skin reacts to different combination of beneficial ingredients, which we couldn't do. And Dr. Sam Tucker-Samaras, who's CTO in the beauty and well-being business, basically is sort of saying that quote. She has some very, very interesting articles if you look her up online, what she's doing with AI. Some other ones, well, I mentioned Unilever's Generation Materials Innovation Factory, it's called. This is the robot lab. It's all robots. Products developed using this drove 1/3 of their new product tech-driven sales. That's a lot of business. They created with AI products, Dove Intensive Repair Shampoo and Conditioner, Living Proof Perfect Hair Shampoo, Hourglass Cosmetics, Red Zero Lipstick. I'm not familiar with these products, but some of you might be. They're all created autonomously in that lab using AI to identify the need, translate it into a product concept. The robots develop the molecules. Oh, this force brush is an interesting one. They developed a hairbrush hooked up to a computer that can actually measure how you're brushing your hair and whether you're putting too much force on it and whether the conditioner is really working or not. Unbelievable. And they come up with new and improved conditioners that make your hair much more pliable, I guess. They were used in the development of Dove shampoo and conditioner to test its ability to detangle hair. At the concept stage in the product development process, moving ahead a little bit here from ideation. When am I supposed to quit?
When you're finished.
In the concept phase, obviously the normal tasks we're supposed to do, once we have an idea and it sort of clears some minimal hurdles, is we're supposed to do a market assessment, a technical assessment, do some concept development, and maybe a quick and dirty business assessment to see if we got anything here, if it's worthwhile moving forward. Pretty standard tasks. AI does a lot of this stuff. It obviously conduct preliminary market research, analyze all kinds of data, as we saw yesterday, very efficiently and very effectively, better than you and I can, certainly fast. Nielsen uses, this is the guys that measure shelf movements in the supermarket. They use AI to analyze social media data to identify trends and insights that help their clients make better decisions about what products are needed on the shelf. AI also automates the process of extracting insights from VOC. Now, we had that in spades yesterday, so I won't go through that again. AI has the unique ability to take unstructured data and turn it into charts and line drawings, etc. Right? Boy, have you ever tried to analyze a lot of unstructured data? It is murder. AI does it. Conversations, complaints, interviews, tape recordings of interviews. AI can also provide real-time insights on the technology aspect of the product. Is this product technically feasible? What do you think? What skills and technologies am I going to need here? What are the risks? Put that into ChatGPT and see what you get. You get a pretty good technical assessment. Probably as good as you could do in a day or two. Yet it'll do it in, 3 minutes? It allows answers to questions on the fly, like how would I solve this problem? But you got to specify the problem in some detail. Can you pull together a research plan for us? Jim and I are working on it. We only have 50% of our time available. Can you map it out for the next 2 weeks? Why not? Has anybody tried doing some of these things? I use GPT every day to make decisions, help me deal with my wife. See, I have a problem at home. My wife is always right. So I'm trying to get a bit of an advantage here.
Why is that a problem?
Hey, yeah. I know. It's a universal truth. This is one product, CD Insights. That basically is a technology assessment AI product. It'll help you do more serious technology assessments than you could do on just as I described. competitive intelligence, tools like Crayon and others. There's lots of them. Use AI-powered algorithms to look at your competitors' activities, such as product launches, pricing, marketing campaigns. You can provide, gets real-time insights into competitors and helps product managers make informed decisions on product differentiation. Software that monitors your competitors and enables your sales team. Now, there's a lot of ads on the internet like this, and you can ask for demos. I just put a few. I don't mean to promote things or say that this company's better than that company, except you guys are the best, right? In concept design, there's a concept car created by AI, pretty slick design, totally by AI. It can create realistic 3D renderings of new product concepts. Could be an industrial pump, could be a fastening device, right? Design optimization is the second step. This is where you're trying to optimize the design of that fastener. Maybe you pull some weight out of it and reduce its cost. AI does that really nicely. It could be a fairly simple product. Your design engineers have gone through several iterations trying to reduce the weight, pull material out of it. AI will take it and improve it that much more. Material selection. It will select the best materials based on cost and performance. Prototype acceleration. It renders digital prototypes, which then can be obviously tested digitally, or ready for 3D printing, for example, if you use 3D printing in your business. And finally, concept evaluation. It makes what-if scenarios very simple. That concept car, you know. Make it a little bit tougher looking. And lose the roof, make it a convertible. There it is. Amazing. You might want to take a look at this part. Somebody mentioned DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E yesterday. It's a drawing piece of software. I noticed it just the other day. I just checked it now. ChatGPT offers it for free. It just was added to that. What Mattel is doing is they're working with generative AI, a creation tool called DALL-E. It's verbal. In other words, you type in text commands like, I want a classic car from about the 1920s, model size, et cetera, et cetera. For creating realistic images and art based on natural language inputs. In other words, speaking, the kind of text you speak with, as you might describe the car to a friend. So the designer, they have no plans to replace product designers. Everyone makes a big point of saying, we're not gonna fire anybody. Everyone says that. But the toy maker, the toy designer, is basically able to come up with better ideas and faster and play with a lot of the ideas, play with them a bit. They say, you might say, give me a scale model of a classic car, it will generate it. Well, that's not enough of a prompt. You usually need to tell a bit of a story here. As the next step, the designer it raises the top, to make it a convertible, etc. Bang, there it is. What do you think? Wouldn't that be nice for your business, Katrina? She's in the fastening business, industrial fastening. You know, make the thing capable of handling 100 pounds instead of 50. There, you don't have to wait 2 days for somebody in the engineering department to come up with a new drawing. It's there. You mentioned John Hauser yesterday, fine man. John Hauser is involved at MIT in a new project with some younger guys, obviously, because he's getting up there in years like some of us. And he's working with General Motors on this kind of stuff, but they've all gone one step further. They've developed an AI model that can predict how pleasing the vehicle will be to customers. So they can get a concept test done on the computer before a consumer even sees it. Because if they take it to a group of consumers, it's called a judging panel or something like this, it costs about $100,000 to do that. So they can do that ahead of time and just take the really, really good ones to that customer panel. Save money and obviously save a bag of time. But that is really remarkable. Mhm.
I have a question that came in from outside.
Sure.
So how can generative AI help with idea generation or needs identification in the chemical industry? Obviously, social media doesn't talk about molecules, and there isn't end formulation data in the public data.
Okay.
Where is Gen AI getting the data if there's no public data?
I'll let one of the experts answer that question. Where is it getting the data? I put in very technical questions and it comes up with ideas. I had one on here, but I'm not using my computer. I'm using Lori's computer here, so I can't show it to you. I had one, and this is a true one. I work for a pump company. We make industrial pumps. We have a line of variable speed pumps. There's a frequency converter that, converts at different frequencies, so we can adjust the speed of the pump. And there's sensors on the line that, depending on the demand for water, it pumps more or less. And it saves all kinds of electricity instead of running the thing flat out and turning the valve to slow things down. The other day, I was at my condo in Florida. It's about a 5-story building, and the maintenance superintendent who lives in the building was complaining about the pump. You see, the minute you go above the 2nd floor, you're losing your water pressure. For every 30 feet, you lose 1 atmosphere of pressure. So he's got a pump down there in the basement that's a variable speed pump. Not from our company, but similar. Every time 3 or 4 people turn on showers, on comes the pump. It senses. But he's not very swift in terms of mechanical engineering. He worked at the golf course before that for the reason. Okay. So whenever there's a mechanical problem, he's just lost. So I put this story in. Can you come up with some new product ideas targeted at higher rise and medium rise buildings where the superintendent or the technical staff is not particularly sophisticated, unlike at a chemical? And boy, oh boy, he came up with 10 great ideas. I'd say about 7 of them, right? Because I've been in this business for a while. One of them was a touch screen that you could sort of ask questions, et cetera, et cetera. Another one was a monitor to his phone. He walks around the building a lot dealing with issues that would alert him to something wrong with the pump immediately before it blows itself up. And a number of other very, very valuable. How the hell did they come up with those ideas? I mean, most people think it's not copying something that's there. This is new. It generated. Try it yourself. I mentioned a couple of times my daughter is marketing director for Mars in Canada. We're not allowed to touch ChatGPT because of legal issues. Mentioned this. They were concerned about IP. They put stuff in. Either that can be IP. So I said to her, you're looking for some new chocolate bar. She says, no, the only I is I get started teasing. So I typed in, I want a chocolate bar, ideas. It's got to be sold at normal stores, $1, $1.50, typical wrapping, etc. It came up with 10 ideas. I sent them to her. She shared them with her team. They said about 6 were very well known, 4 were very original, very thoughtful. Have you tried it? It does, doesn't it? Yeah. And it's quite amazing.
Bob?
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you. On that Mattel example,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I understand that. It strikes me that the Mattel design team have adopted generative AI as a great design tool,
Yes.
just as they adopted digital tools.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
It's still designer directed.
Yeah,
It's just a great way of bringing it up.
that's right. Except it uses creativity to do it.
What's that?
It responds to words and then takes the words to, it responds to text.
So as long as they're able to communicate their vision in their mind, words, they can probably cut some words.
That's right. And it does it very quickly, and it does it fairly creatively, as you saw with that General Motors car, that concept with the real car.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So, and we talked about yesterday, the idea of, when generating content that you can't copyright that.
Yes.
By a machine. So when it comes to idea generation concept.
I don't know. I don't know. My other daughter is a corporate lawyer. I sent that question to her yesterday. I didn't get an answer yet. She works for a DC law firm, and we'll see what kind of an answer she comes up with. She'll hunt it around, shop it around the floor, I'm sure. Anyway, AI is also a facilitating function at the front end, gathering market data for competitive, technical, and risk assessments. We've seen that. AI also helps to build a robust business case. I'm not going to go into all the applications because I am running a little bit over time. With many of the activities, it does the market analysis if you wanted to, by hunting through the internet. We saw Amazon. I think the example somebody this morning, where are you? You were using, Michelle, you were using Amazon as an example. To analyze customer reviews and identify common points of pain to suggest new products. A lot of people put their reviews into Amazon. From a technical standpoint, AI provides real-time technical insights on technology trends and rapidly gets facts on a technical subject. It predicts pricing, markets, sales, profits, can even predict the likelihood of new product success. Given these characteristics, the odds of success are. Interesting. That's typically done with a neural network kind of analysis. The AI tools take predictions and do the financial analysis. They also do a risk assessment. They can identify. This is one of the most developed areas of AI in business is risk assessment. It looks for patterns, et cetera, and can figure out what risks you might have in your project. Wow, this is pretty good for the project leader. Where's your risk assessment, says the big boss, right here. Finally, project planning. There's a lot of AI for use. The Project Management Institute, the PMI, has quite a bit on the use of AI in creating timelines and Gantt charts and keeping tabs on resources and tasks getting completed on time, et cetera. And more than that, it'll even go as far as saying this project's running behind, these 3 tasks are behind. What you'd best to do is take Mary and Joe and put them on this task and extend the length of these other 2 tasks. And you're still going to come in a bit late, but not as late. Those kind of things. It'll try to optimize the allocation of your people. The go-to development decision is an interesting one. AI offers tools for better project selection. For example, prediction, which will bring the most value, which projects will bring the most value to the corporation. When the correct data is available, machine learning can start figuring some of this stuff out. For example, I have some data on new product success and failure that I've gathered over the years. So that's the dependent variable, degree of success. I have a whole lot of characteristics of the project, competitive advantage, market characteristics. These are the so-called feature variables, or characteristics we call them. The AI calls them features. And I've been doing some neural network analysis to try to see if those characteristics will predict outcomes. And I'm getting about an 80% prediction rate. And considering that the average manager has about a 25% prediction rate, 75% of the projects that are approved for development are either killed because they're duds or go on to become duds, 75%. So managers are not doing a great job picking winners. You're better off going to Las Vegas and betting on black. I'm in the same boat because I was in a company and we had to pick projects too. So it's mea culpa also. Obviously, we could vastly exceed human accuracy in making predictions. This is in the future. Will soon result in obviously faster identification of development-ready projects and the selection of projects that have higher chance of success. I've been corresponding a bit with a guy in Shanghai that owns and runs a AI and blockchain company. And it basically putting, when will we in business be turning decisions over like this decision over? And he basically has come back with a very good answer. He said, AI is a very good co-pilot. or not ready quite yet to hand over the controls of the car or the airplane or the new product process to that. But 5 years. Give it 5 years. One of the keys is it removes human biases from the decision-making process, which is, the politics and the human biases and the executive-sponsored pet projects and all that kind of nonsense. Removes all that. That's my NewProd model. It was used at P&G and in the EU based on traditional statistical analysis. But now the AI analysis seems to be a little bit better. Sophion's Accolade, this is a company that's been a help to us over the years. They sponsor some of my seminars in Europe. They have a software product called Accolade. Some of you may use it. Tom, you're using it, right? As Sherwin uses it, P&G uses it, 3M uses it. It's a very nice software product for managing the new product process. It was designed around stage gate. And they've had AI built in to optimize the portfolio, things like that for some time. AI is also well positioned as the project progresses. I'm not going to go into each of these. We already had that. Risk assessment, I mentioned that a little bit. Big data helps you identify risks. They do a risk analysis. Soon, not yet, soon able to adjust your plans to deal with or mitigate the risks. Right now, it just identifies, but it'll soon be able to come up with a plan of action to mitigate it. It can extract insights from data regarding risk and the probabilities. Manufacturing machinery is often monitored by AI to indicate the likelihood of a failure in the next 24 hours or something like that. Okay. The development stage is a very interesting one. Change gears here a little bit. Now we're into physically developing the product, be it a chemical or a new paint, or a new food ingredient, or a new fastener, or new chemicals in your case. Rob, anybody in machinery? Anybody in machinery here? Mechanical engineering type products? Yeah, okay. Oh, dresser, of course. You guys. Yeah, okay. You guys are, oh, yes, we're good. In product design, AI streamlines the product design process by creating 3D models or generating technical drawings, obviously. That's been around for a long while, CAD software. That was actually technically one of the first uses of AI. There's a fine line between AI and traditional statistics, right? Or traditional mathematics. Prototyping can be used to create prototypes of products quickly and easily. Siemens uses AI to create virtual prototypes that can be tested of a number of different pieces of equipment. Siemens in Germany is actually the godfather of digital twins. Okay, so they were really the forerunner and have built up quite a enviable track record there. AI optimizes designs, reducing the number of iterations. Now here is a fastener, sort of not a fastener, but it's from a tool company. Forged pieces of steel. Now here's an example. This is the original design. Can everyone see that? Okay. This is what the design engineer, this is what AI came up with. And then this is the final design. The engineer tweaked it a little bit. And in the process, saved 38% of weight and 15% of cost. Wouldn't you like to do that with all your products? Hallelujah. So design, even of simple things like that. Now, more complicated things like turbines, yeah. GE basically would take a turbine blade and do all the computational fluid dynamic calculations around it. It would take an engineer 2 days to do the math on a computer. Today with AI, it's 15 minutes. So GE's managed to cut down turbine development time by 50%, they claim, using these types of applications. Wouldn't you like to get a 50% reduction in your, in New York, they're using it here. They can do a million variations of a design of a blade in 15 minutes and test each one. Test each one digitally. So, this is a digital twin. Digital twins are basically, this is one of the principal ways that GE is deploying AI, much like Siemens. These digital twins mimic digitally the products that are out in the field. Now, it can be a prototype. So you're getting feedback from the customer's misuse or abuse of the product in a field trial. Very, very early. Or you can also do it after launch. For example, all those new GE engines that are on 777 planes all have digital twins. So while you're flying across the ocean, you'll be happy to hear that some dude's sitting at a computer making sure the engine's not grinding itself to pieces.
What would you do if you thought it was?
Oh, hi.
That's a digital twin. What would he do if he could see that there was something?
I guess the issue is it serious or is it not? If it's serious, it probably fly to the nearest airport. If you're over the ocean, good luck, you know? But I guess if it's not that serious, it would just get maintenance at the next stop and prevent it from deteriorating further. But that kind of stuff is happening right now. Now, it sounds like nobody is in that kind of business in this room, but there are two of the capabilities integrated into this type of technology that enables field trial data or a field trial prototype or a final product to be monitored with its twin to optimize the use. And they built up a vast catalog of digital twins that have actually, they figure, have created about $1 billion in value. That's the value of these digital twins. Now, let's go to chemistry. Some of you are in chemistry or drug molecules. Pfizer is using artificial intelligence to accelerate the drug discovery. There's a new software company called Atomwise that's working with a number of chemical companies or molecule type companies, people in the business of creating molecules. Atomwise basically goes to large, huge libraries, many, many libraries with thousands and thousands and thousands of molecules in them, or reports on molecules, to develop the drug faster. They take each molecule and make sure it's obviously different than the current solution, than competitive products, and then predicts its likelihood of being successful in attacking, say in the case of medicine, attacking that target that's got to be destroyed in the body. And they can predict it fairly well. So drug discovery has gone from, I think the success rate in drug discovery is about 5%, which is why the drugs are so expensive. They can get it up to about 50% now. 50% of them work. Wow. Moderna, of course, a miracle company during the pandemic. They use AI and used it a lot and saved millions of lives as a result. They basically, I've been working a little bit with the Government Office of Accountability, who sort of monitors how companies do drug development. And we were looking at the stage gate process. It's sort of a typical stage process they take people through that's painfully long, 10 years to come up with a new drug kind of thing. And they sort of shortened it and watched Moderna do it down to 1 year, using some very clever techniques. AI was one of them. They spent years building a data science and AI platform that support repeatable development of different mRNA meds, and a web-based app for workflow automation, et cetera, data capture, model building. And they also came up with an algorithm that suggests what code to put into the mRNA that's going to be most effective. What genetic code to put in. And so it really narrows down the range of candidate drugs. Companies typically spend $15 million developing a drug. As I said, the success rate is not very good. And AI improves it to about 50-50, as well as reducing the time to market. And it paid off big for Moderna. And Dolly Parton, I guess, who was an investor. Unilever, I mentioned again, uses this other company. They use it to come up with molecules. They developed a new stain-fighting enzyme for cleaning and laundry products, quite different than beauty care, with 50% fewer ingredients and increased stability, performance, and sustainability. They just work with this AI company to go through all the possibilities and predict which ones might work. In 18 months, 5 times faster. This is fundamental research, obviously. 5 times faster than would have been previously possible. So this is something for your paint guys to think about. Because you guys play around with different molecules. And, sure. They achieved intelligent protein. They used intelligent protein design technology, which combines physics-based design, biology, and AI. All combined. So they're combining traditional sciences with AI. Project management. Bob and Jonathan's company provide the software to do all the data management, which is part of project management. Data collection. This is from the PMI, by the way. These are the ways that PMI, Project Management Institute, sees AI. Data collection, predictive analytics to forecast project outcomes like on time, on budget, that kind of outcome. The standard things that project managers look at. Also analyze project documentation. Sorry, there's a typo there. It can analyze project charters, plans, and reports, summarize them, key points for management, learn from project data, improve the accuracy of predictions, optimizes resource allocation, where you're putting your people on your project team or in your lab or engineering department. Real-time monitoring and control of projects, and decision support, data-driven insights to make more informed decisions. And recommend, for example, whether to allocate more resources to a task or just simply admit that you can't get it done on time. Adjust the schedule. Those are your usual options. Which is the better decision? Of course, there's a MS Project from Microsoft, has AI tools now built into that as well. Testing and validation. We all hear these days that the name of the game is test early, test often, and test fast and test cheaply. Don't go too far in the process without building a number of build and test iterations. That's a concept we borrow from agile development, from the software work. Build something and test it and get it out there in front of the customer and do it before you even have a product. Don't wait till you're 3/4 of the way through development before, here, Madam Customer, too late. The nice thing about AI is it can do most of these tasks. There's algorithms to analyze data from sensors, like on a prototype product in the field, for potential defects, even simulated products, to simulate the behavior of a product under different conditions. Some of you make smart or IoT products. Anybody in the room building software into their solutions here, into their products here, guys? What do you guys do?
Valve and fitting manufacturing.
Valve and fitting, and you're building software. Good. So that system's got to be tested. That's a system. The minute you got some software, hardware and software together. And obviously AI does a good job of that too. Many products contain multiple systems of software that have to be tested. And there are increasingly advanced systems for doing that. Some of those are a little beyond my capability, probably beyond your capability too, but they do exist. Okay, finally launch. AI does something, a lot of things in manufacturing. AI's been very heavily used in manufacturing to optimize just about everything. Far too many for you and I to get into a discussion on that. It's not our field. But the minute you get into manufacturing, you see so many applications of AI. AI is used to improve the manufacturing process. The GE obviously uses AI to optimize the whole process, reduce costs, and lots of companies do things like that. But in marketing, more our area, our part of the project, pricing, AI is being used to help companies set the right price for their products. Uber does that, right? Depending on when you phone them and how busy they are, you get a different price. So optimizing. But other companies are starting to do those kinds of things. Netflix uses AI to personally price depending on your viewing habits. And Marcom, or marketing communications, is obviously being used to help companies develop copy, et cetera. And since there's so much online marketing these days, developing copy seems to be quite important. But there are some risks. We saw some good examples yesterday. Google uses AI to target its ads to people who are likely to be interested in this product. It's not just a blanket approach. After the launch, AI continues to play a role in the new product success. They can analyze customer feedback and complaints. Get a lot of information after the launch to identify trends and patterns and provide developers with valuable insights for coming up with release 2.1, release 2. Whatever, the next version of the new and improved. Or even Tesla, as I mentioned, uses digital image cards, GE with jet engines. And a lot of companies are using digital twins. Those are for larger mechanical products. AI can even identify areas needing improvement for existing products. So, a lot going on here. Fascinating, never-ending list of opportunities for AI. I was at this IBM-sponsored conference 2 weeks ago, and the last 30, 45 minutes were a roundtable discussion by 3 or 4 educators. One of them was a professional in the area of business education. Another one was from an HR department, also in training. There was a woman from a regular school, like a public school system. And there was one other person. And the interesting thing, they seemed to have a common message, was get in now and get educated about this fast. Technologies used to take a long time to take hold. The Industrial Revolution started in 1760. It's generally considered complete by 1840. That's something like 60 or 70 years. The electrification era started about 1890 and was generally considered over by 1920. That was 30 years. How fast do you think this one's going to be? I think by the end of the decade, we're going to be fully AI. It'll be a 10-year, because it's already underway. It'll be a 10-year, and if you're not on board now, wow. The other thing the teacher said is, you guys got kids? Get them into AI now, even if they're only 10 years old. Because they're already starting in some school systems in the US, starting to use AI tools to get your kid to be a better reader. You know, the kid comes home and his mom's reading a story and mom's tired because she's had a working day. And she may be not quite as kind as she might be when the kid makes mistakes. The AI is much more sympathetic and does a better job. Isn't that terrible? You know? My 11-year-old grandson is into Python. And I'm getting him a bit into ChatGPT, you know, not to cheat, obviously, but to help. So get on board, get yourself educated. You know, I gave you a number of references of articles you can read. You can Google, you can use AI. Although ChatGPT is not up to date. It only goes to 2021. Yeah. Bard, is it up to date? Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
we've got to spin the wheel.
Yeah, spin the wheel. Oh, wow. Spin the wheel.
Yeah.
Who's gonna stop it?
Lori's got this thing.
She's got this. She's going to spin it.
Okay.
Right.
Everybody that submitted a question.